I can close down tomorrow. The value of my farm, and it's not just me, I've got partners in this, our company will be destroyed overnight. Its value, I mean, this farm, you can't actually use it in a sustainable way for virtually anything unless you go very, very high intensity, whether it's tourism, whether it's alien and exotic trees, whatever land usage we find for this, we would be hard-pressed to build an economically viable alternative that would provide the same income for us and support for the family and labor that we families and the labor that we employ. It'll shut us down, very simply put. Our business would become undoable. One single step, it will destroy a huge part of the entire economic engine that runs the southern Drakensberg economy. I produce relatively few trout, and yet they underpin an entire tourism industry that stretches from the Kaapkloof almost all the way to Mthatha. The irony is, to answer your question, the same people that brought the trout into the Umzimkulu brought the Barbus anopolis, your chubby-headed barb, and the Barbus viviparus, the pinstripe barb, as forage for the trout. So if there are any indigenous fish here to be preserved, they are as alien as the trout. How crazy is this? What a little irony. It turns out that but for trout, God knows where this country would have been today. Because Cyril Ramaphosa and Rolf Meyer and their initial discussions, their initial interactions, were they were invited by a third party of good faith to a trout fishing weekend. Neither of them knew that the other one was going to be present, so they were ambushed a little bit. But in an environment, an unthreatening environment, an environment of good faith and neighborliness and friendship, Rolf Meyer and Cyril Ramaphosa got to know each other and discussed the absolutely intractable issues that divided our society, would you believe it, over a little spot of trout fishing. Another supreme irony is that Ezemvelo Wildlife, the conservation authorities, have produced a list of the 10 most threatened species. Things like the oribi, a semi-burrowing tree frog called Leptopelus xenodactylus, rare and cryptic creatures that are under dire threat mainly because of habitat destruction. Of the 10 indicator species on that list, 4 are on this farm. Of those 4, 2 are actually aquatic species. The habitat that I have been able to leave untouched and preserve, which permits their continued existence, happen to be the prime sites which I would have to go and change and develop if I wished to expand my tourism business. The Chlorolestes draconicus, the Drakensberg emerald damselfly sylph, which is regarded as extremely endangered. And this is put down to the presence of trout. In fact, only exist here because of the trout. The habitat that they colonize is a habitat not utilized by the trout at all. It's those little seeps on the side of the hills that are covered with grass that you can't even see, but there's a damp erosion line. And these damselflies utilize that. And the one place that they occur on this farm is the one spot which is earmarked if I'm forced to develop my tourism operation. That will be where the clubhouse and the swimming pool will go. Goodbye, Chlorolestes draconius, along with the trout.